Taking you back with a tantalizing T-Connection right there. And Goombay time. And it is time now to check back in with the Met Office to see what is happening weather-wise this morning with Synovia Sears.
For today and tonight, Tuesday, the 15th of March. In our general situation, a weakening frontal boundary will continue to dissipate while gradually lifting northward through tonight. In our special warnings, we're asking beach goers to exercise caution along east and south coast beaches due to the risk of rip currents and possible rough surf. For all areas expecting cloudy and breezy conditions with isolated showers over portions of the northwest and central Bahamas through tonight. A small craft caution is in effect for the northwest and central Bahamas, while a small craft advisory is in effect for the southeast Bahamas. The winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots in the northwest and central Bahamas, and easterly at 15 to 25 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas will run 4 to 7 feet over the ocean in the northwest and central Bahamas and 5 to 8 feet in the southeast Bahamas. We're expecting a daytime high temperature of 79 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 26 degrees Celsius, with an overnight low of 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius. Sun will rise at 7:18 a.m. this morning and set at 7:18 p.m. this evening. We will have a high tide occurring at 6:42 a.m. this morning. Tide will be low at 1:07 p.m. this afternoon and high again at 7 p.m. tonight. In our extended forecast, high-pressure ridging will move over the southern islands of the Bahamas. Meanwhile, a deepening low-pressure system over the southeast United States will drag a frontal boundary north of the Bahamas. This front will spark pockets of unsettled weather over portions of the northwest Bahamas into Thursday. So that puts a wrap on your weather for today. Have a wonderful day, Bahamas.
And Synovia, thank you so much for that. God bless you and have a great day. 6:55 is the time. It's time for your Constitutional Minute. Did you know that according to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Article 122 in paragraph 3, when a person is entitled to exercise an option as to which of two or more laws should apply in his case, the law specified by him in exercising the option shall, for the purpose of this article, be deemed to be more favorable to him than the other law or laws. That was your Constitutional Minute. Bahamians everywhere know your rights.
This is the ZNS Network, providing radio and high-definition television services for the entire Bahamas. ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is a preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know ye therefore, we the inheritors of, and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's Tuesday, March 15, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, a feeding program supporting students with their latest initiative. We explore one of the biggest threats to coral reefs in our waters. And we feature an outstanding student from Abaco. So let's start the morning off right.
Edition is brought to you by We Buy You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
Exercise not only changes your body, it changes your mind, attitude, and mood. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good morning, everybody. It looks like I need to get some exercise in for the mood, the body, and everything, and especially for the show that we have coming up this morning. Is going to be a very energetic show this morning. LaDawn, you ready?
So should we call you Prince Charles?
Prince Charles. You can call
Charles.
me anyone that rolls off your tongue with delicacy. Just you can call me that. So how are things?
We have a pretty good show this morning. I see that we have neurosurgeon
Dr. Myron Roll is in studio for the first time on the morning edition. We'd like to welcome him here. Also, I'm going to feature my story on those young males from Abaco this morning.
I see you're getting them.
Yeah, I'm getting them. You know, girls last week were just showing us up, so I asked for some males, and they were being pouring in. So we continue to do that. Also, I'm interested in that piece with Crystal is doing on coral.
Yeah, that should be pretty interesting to see what's happening with that. I understand that there's some sort of threat to our coral reefs in the country, in our waters. So I'm anxious to see what that story is about.
And yeah, I'm anxious to see what you'll be wearing as we prepare for the royal visit. We'll be going an hour next week when the Prince and...
So you're going to be wearing your tuxedo?
I don't like to wear suit. You see, I dressed down on this suit. I wore a suit to my grandmother's funeral. That was a sad occasion. And then I wore a suit to my wedding. That was another sad occasion. So I do not like to wear a suit, but everything is going to be all right.
I'm going to be dressed.
So if you can find a tuxedo for me, I'll wear it.
Oh my God.
But I wonder what Crystal Darling is wearing this morning, because the streets out there are a little bit wet and some chill is still in the air. Good morning, Chrissy.
Good morning, Fisher and LaDonna, and good morning, Bahamas. We are here on Marathon Road, and I am here with Officer Patrick Kemp.
Good morning, Chrissy. Good morning, Bahamas.
Okay, Officer Kemp, could you talk to us about last night's, traffic over the last 24 hours?
We had reported to us we had over 6 reported crashes. One this morning that just took place on West Bay Street, where occupants of a white Fugo that would have left in the western direction on West Bay Street. License plate number AJ2030. Anybody has any information on that vehicle or knows the driver of that vehicle, please report it to the police so that we can bring those persons in and conclude this matter. They would have left the scene traveling in the western direction on West Bay Street.
Thank you so much for that, Officer Kemp. I know you have a demonstration for us today.
Well, what I wanted to show this morning is this merge traffic sign. A lot of persons are not familiar with these signs, and you got to get to know your traffic signs, people, because they are erected for your safety and they help you get to where you got to go. Cautiously, all right? So if you see a sign like this is a traffic merge sign. There are a few merge lanes that are Trout Island of New Providence. This here is a popular one, Marathon Road, if you're heading north in the area of Signature Plaza. And for people who travel in the western direction, in the southern direction, in the Carmichael Road area, they're very familiar with Blue Hill and Soldier Road. That's a mess in there in the evenings. Well, pretty much all through the day. Persons are not using the merge lane properly. All right, so if you see this sign here, this is simply letting you know that the traffic will be merging into a single lane. Give you a good example of this. If you're in the left lane and you're traveling south on Blue Hill Road, the vehicle that is ahead of you, you'll want that vehicle, if you're merging, to continue going where they have to go. It doesn't make any sense for you to speed up or try to get ahead of that vehicle, and that's how a lot of our collisions occur. So I want the drivers out there to please adhere to the traffic signs and give way to one another, and that's how we can have a smooth transition through the streets.
Okay, and we know that in this area in particular, you have a no U-turn sign, but there are some lines in the middle of the road and some cones that have been knocked down. And this morning we've actually seen several people make that U-turn despite that sign being there.
You know, Crystal, unlike this sign here, there are a number of signs that are erected again through the island, and persons is blatantly. You cannot say that you don't see the sign. And you know, it shows like this. I'm going to make it very known to the drivers out there what to expect and what these signs represent. The signs are right there, and persons still tend on breaking the laws, and you're going to find yourself before the courts. If you get in an accident making a U-turn here on Marathon Road near Signature Plaza, recommended charges will be against you. So I'm going to advise the drivers so that please pay attention to the traffic signs and obey the rules of the streets.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Officer Patrick Kemp. Back to you in the studio, Fisher and LaDon.
Thanks a lot, Christy. We are waking up to 72 degrees, mostly cloudy, winds east at 4 miles per hour, humidity 100%. Now, weakening frontal boundary will continue to dissipate while gradually lifting northward throughout tonight. All areas weather cloudy and breezy with isolated showers over portions of the northwest and central Bahamas. A chilly day. Today's high temperature 79 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low of 66. And as we look ahead to Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny and breezy on Wednesday, 83 in the day, 74 at night, and then on Thursday, getting much better, partly sunny and beautiful, 83 in the day, also 74 at night.
Intense investigations are underway into a string of murders which took place over the weekend in the hopes of executing swift justice on those behind the slayings. Police say these incidents, 5 homicides in 3 days, have pushed the country's murder rate 4% higher than things stood the same time last year, with the murder count now at 27.
And the community is really flooded with that presence. We believe and suspect that it is a gang-related, and it could be a retaliation. We are on to some good information. We are aware of the different fractions. And as we speak, we have officers out and up and about and trying to identify the players in these gangs.
4 days into the apparent suicide of 24-year-old Carissa Culmer, police are still awaiting the results of a final autopsy report to determine exactly what led to the young mother's demise, a tragedy authorities are moving to ensure is not repeated. Her death has led to a renewed focus on domestic violence and the creation of a new unit at added training for officers.
Moving forward, that we identify a unit just to deal with domestic violence, working closely with the crisis center and social services. And we are doing just that. We are managing that from CID department, and we're going to do just that and to help victims out there.
Talking labor work progressing to fill the country's skills gap, the Department of Labor, Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, and the Lowell J. Mortimer Maritime Academy coming together to fill and elevate the country's skills gap through education and training through several free courses. President of BTVI, Dr. Robert Robertson, says a National Center for Construction, Education and Research program responds to employers' demands for skilled labor.
They're shorter, modularized courses with industry certifications. And we have heard from developers across the country that those are the certifications that they need to help us to build this country post-COVID and post-Dorian.
Two Grand Bahama residents pushing the country's COVID death toll to 773, the victims a 44-year-old man who died on February 15th and a 57-year-old woman who passed away on March 4th. As of March 12th, 37 deaths remain under investigation. Meantime, new confirmed cases are at 4, all of them from New Providence, making up the count 2 males and 2 females. As for hospitalizations, we're looking at 11, with 9 of the sick listed as moderately ill. Saturday also saw 101 active cases. The same day, 4 people reportedly recovered. The National Insurance Board has begun distributing NIB smart cards following a recent shipment of 30,000. Minister with responsibility for NIB, the Honorable Miles Arota, says a new batch of cards arrived in the country about a month ago.
The social distancing that forces, in a lot of cases, the reduction of staff to issue those cards kind of slowed down the process. I have got numerous calls from NIB card holders who need those cards, and I didn't say want, who need those cards, because in a lot of cases they are the only source of ID for individuals. Hopefully moving forward, if our numbers remain low, we can roll out, or we could start to expedite, or we may have to find ways of having multiple sites where cards could be issued.
Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is celebrating women in technology. We're taking this opportunity to pause and highlight the leading ladies in information, communication, and technology who are breaking stereotypes and shattering glass ceilings. We hope you'll join us in honoring the tremendous girl power that keeps our community connected.
Shipping and delivery service. They are fast and efficient. They bring the ease of shopping to your fingertips. Free delivery and no dimensional weight charge. They're also offering 25% sign-up discount for the first 6 months. Make sure give Blue Waters a call today at 1-242-803-5604. Visit their website today at bwshipping242.com. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Sports concussion. Well, this coming Thursday from 9 to 3 p.m. at the National Stadium, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture will present a symposium for all coaches, sporting federations, and stakeholders. Joining us is one of the presenters of that symposium, neurosurgeon and former football safety, played football at Florida State, drafted by the Tennessee Titans in the 6th round of the 2010 NFL Draft, attended Florida State, like I said, a neurosurgeon, an Oxford graduate, a Rhodes Scholarship recipient. Good morning and welcome to the morning edition, Dr. Myron Roll.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us about sports concussion, first of all.
Well, you know, as a brain surgeon and someone who's played professional football, you know, I understand concussions, I understand head trauma, traumatic brain injury. All these things are very serious. And I think for us as Bahamians, we need to understand that if we early recognize symptoms, signs, clinical manifestations of concussions, we can give our children, give our athletes, men and women, contact and non-contact, a chance at a productive and a fruitful life without any of the sleep disturbances, photophobia, memory loss, or other things that are the long-term consequences of concussion. So something very seriously I take very seriously as a professional physician and as someone who used to play professional sports. It means a lot.
What are some of the early signs?
Some of the early signs are headaches, sleep disturbance, transient memory loss, mood lability, depression, not being able to be around a lot of people and taking in a lot of stimuli. All these things are very important. All these things need to be identified. Parents, coaches, individuals who are just around, loved ones who are around these athletes. When you think about concussions, it's mild TBI. It's on the furthest spectrum of mild, and there are no radiographic diagnostic tests we can do currently to tell if you have a concussion or not. So you really have to pay attention to these signs and symptoms because they start early and they can last for a long time.
Now, some parents may be saying, hey, we do not play football, American-style football here in the Bahamas at the high school level, so this might not affect us.
Well, I would say that that's a little bit inaccurate, right? Because concussions are not just direct blows to the head. It's also when you have severe whiplash of your neck that causes your brain, which is suspended in this fluid called cerebrospinal fluid, to bang up against the hard skull, the fixed box that we have. And that's called coup contre coup. So that can happen from gymnasts flying up in the air. That can happen from heading a soccer ball. That can happen from falling to the ground, playing volleyball, rugby, cricket, no matter what. Concussions permeate through all sports. And as athletes, as coaches, as leaders in this field, especially as Honorable Mayor Boleg and his team at the Youth Sports and Culture, we're taking it very seriously. We want to keep these sports going, but preserve the lifestyle and the livelihood of our athletes going forward.
And what do you hope Sports Federation coaches and athletes will get from the symposium this coming Thursday?
Well, I hope they'll understand some of the signs and symptoms we mentioned, some of the clinical aspects of it. I hope they understand the algorithmic steps that my foundation, the Caribbean Neurosurgery Foundation, has put in place so that you can know if this happens, do this. If that happens, do this. It's very simple. We want to know return to play protocols, recovery protocols. We want to put in place a committee that can oversee concussions in our country to make sure that not only do we keep this game going, because football, soccer, baseball, all these sports mean a lot to a lot of individuals, but we also want to preserve the most important organ in our body. I'm biased as a neurosurgeon, but our brain is really important. It allows us to have life. It allows us to have the ability to learn, to socialize, do all these things to reach our goals. And so I'm hoping that our coaches and the Sports Federation, everyone involved in athletics in our country, understand this, recognize it, and move forward to a safer day for safer play for all of our athletes.
And while we have you here in the morning edition, I can't let you go from Florida State, the Tennessee, the neurosurgeon. Any words of encouragement for young Bahamians like yourself who wants to follow in that path?
Well, I would say, you know, find mentors. Find people who are doing what you'd want to do. Make your dreams come a reality by seeing yourself walk those shoes. Take advantage of opportunities, reach out. The world is so global now. The pandemic has shown us that we can be connected through Zoom, through social media, through other avenues, so that we can really sort of aspire to be what we want to be. So I would say keep working, keep focused, find those mentors, stay committed, stay steadfast in your dreams, your goals, because it can happen for you one step at a time.
And then within the last past year, you've been on ESPN, CNN, just about all the networks. How's things going?
You know, things are going very well. You know, it's a blessing to be a neurosurgeon. I've always wanted to do it since I was young. My daddy started the CAFL back here in Nassau when I was a baby, and he brought football into my life. So now being able to be a physician, take care of people, save lives, but also have a foot in athletics and sports, what I've always wanted to do, it means a lot. And to be able to come back home and provide this sort of service to a country and to a place that means so much to me, and hopefully inspire young people to want to do even greater things than I've been able to do, it means a lot.
2 questions before I get you out of here. Brady is back.
Brady is back. You know, I didn't think he was going to go very long, honestly. The man loves football too much. He's a true competitor. And, you know, I'm glad that he's still going to be blessing the NFL with his talent. So I did not expect him to go long. It's sort of like a Michael Jordan thing. Step away for a little bit, realize you still miss it, come back and play some more.
And as a sports person, always a sports person, who do you get in the NCAA tournament that tips off tonight?
You know, it's very difficult to bet against someone like Duke. Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, their head coach, this is his last go-around. In sports, when you have a lot of momentum and when you have sort of when you're playing for something bigger than yourself and bigger than just the game, you sort of have that extra it factor that pushes you along, especially in a tournament like this. It's going to be very difficult. Gonzaga's very good, but I think Duke may end up winning it all just from the mere fact that this is the last time Coach K is going out, and I think they want to send him out on a winning and on a victory.
Well, thanks a lot, Dr. Myron Roll. My producers in my ear telling me he thinks this is a sport. We don't know when our sports guys get together, we just like to chat it up, right?
That's right, not a problem.
Thanks a lot for joining us here on the Morning Edition. I know you will like this story coming up. We feature young males. We introduce this young 13-year-old ninth grade student from Patrick J. Bethel School over there in Abaco.
I've been on the honor roll since I came into school. I won the mathematics competition with some of my old classmates, Gennaro Mitchell and Ashley Smith. I won the principal's list, the vice principal's list, just to name a few. It feels great to be a prefect. It's good to know that all my hard work didn't go in vain. It actually went into something good. So I'm happy that I'm a prefect.
Just getting back face-to-face, things are starting to pick up.
The things I like about school nowadays, I like math a lot. I like math since I came into school. I like math, and I like PE also because I like learning more about sports every day.
First it was Hurricane Dorian, then the pandemic, one thing after another for the students of the island.
It hasn't been 100%, and the reason I say this is because students still don't have the technology to get into class. They don't have no tablets, no phones, no laptops. They don't have stuff like that. And the internet hasn't been good. I would say for the past month, teachers and students have been lagging out of class a lot lately.
So, do you rather living in New Providence where you had to spend some time after the hurricane, or Abaco?
I feel living in the island of Abaco than living in the big city of Nassau is better and bad at the same time. And here's why I say that. It's better because the crime rate has gone up expeditiously in Nassau. So I'm happy that I'm in Abaco and not around that to get distracted, just stay on the right path. And I feel like it's also bad because I wouldn't have all the opportunities that I would have in Nassau that in Abaco.
With things just getting back to normal, he is hoping to find other things to keep him occupied.
I'm not involved in any extracurricular activities yet, but I would like to join some when school opens up face-to-face again. I wouldn't want to join any yet virtually.
We head to the break. We take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On March 15th, 1969, professional baseball took center stage at the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Chicago White Sox were in town for a 2-game spring training series at the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center. Also on this day in 1998, University of Georgia sprinter Debbie Ferguson won a pair of silver medals in the 255 meters at the NCAA Indoor Championships.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
Raise awareness on the impact of kidney disease across this country this month. This morning, we're joined by a dialysis patient, Leonard Ramsey, to talk about his battle with the disease. Good morning, Leonard, and welcome to the Morning Edition.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So, Leonard, tell us a little bit about your diagnosis and battle with kidney failure.
Well, it was in 2017. Sometime during the month of October, I was holding on as the officer in charge of Carmichael Police Station. And I got up that morning, and my 2 legs were literally weak, and I couldn't walk. I had no symptoms prior. I didn't know what was going on. And immediately, my wife took me to Doctor's Hospital. I had a kidney biopsy done, and other tests which revealed that my kidney was only operating at 20%. This for me was a shocker. And immediately, I was admitted to the intensive care unit, where I stayed for about a week until my result came back, where I was diagnosed with a kidney disease referred to as FSGS. It's some long scientific words. If you literally put it in one of the search engine, it will be determined that it's actually the filters of the kidneys being damaged. After my kidney was determined, it was only 20% operation. My doctor then, Dr. Don Diego, then recommended I adjust my diet. I did just that, and I adjusted myself to a diet of fish, vegetables, nuts, and fruits, and I was able to delay the onset of the disease for about 2 years. In October of 2019, my kidney then fully collapsed, and I commenced dialysis.
So what's it actually been like for you balancing being a husband and a father with treatments?
Well, honestly, the most strongest thing I could say is to have a faith in God. That's the first thing. Second, my supportive family, my wife in particular, and the bonus of having a good health insurance. The fact that I'm a law enforcement officer, my wife is also a law enforcement officer. A bonus to the government of the Bahamas for me having 100% coverage. That was a challenge. My wife, like I said, is a bonus because being on dialysis, having treatment 3 times a week, 4 hours a time, sometimes I have to go 3, 4 a.m. in the morning to do just that. It's a challenge. I thank God for the insurance. The medication is very expensive, and the support that I get from family, friends, and thus far. What I would like to say also is that during 2019, when my kidneys collapsed, I was 8 months into trying to complete a master's degree in human resource development through Barry University. And right then, I had 2 voices in my head. One said to me, give up, you cannot complete this. And I always believe that such voices or excuses are of the devil. And then there's another voice that said to me, through Christ you can do all things. And I did just that. The pandemic came, and I sat at my laptop with my left hand hooked up to a machine, and for the next 1.5 years, I completed my master's degree. So that being said, being a father wasn't easy, but you can do all things through Christ.
Is this hereditary in your family?
To my knowledge, no, ma'am, it's not. FSG was diagnosed in me because due to the fact of processed foods, gone to my doctor. And I also discovered also doing my own research is that a lot of, I guess, pain medication. I had a tendency of having these headaches, and I took a lot of Aleve. And I strongly believe that Aleve played a role in my kidneys being damaged. Also processed food, that's things like sausage, bacon, canned foods, and stuff like that. Eating it over a period of time, and I didn't know, there was no symptoms actually.
And any recommendations for the Bahamas Kidney Association to make lives like yourself a little bit easier as you battle?
For me, I think what we should do is raise awareness that for Bahamians generally, or I'll say to do proper annual checkup. I strongly believe that if I was doing a 6 months blood works in particular and assess my numbers, I would be able to determine then that my creatinine was out of whack and make the adjustment. I also believe right now, because myself and a lot of kidney patients in this country have to go abroad to do a transplant. I think that we need to move where we can do our transplant here in the Bahamas. I don't know if our population demands it or whether we have the resources for it, but I think we need to do just that. And we need to encourage our people to eat more organic foods. Hadn't I known what I know now, I would have been eating better than I'm eating now. So I'll say eat more organic foods.
Lennon Ramsey, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition and sharing your story with us, and all the best to you as you continue to fight this disease head on. Thank you,
madam, and thanks for having me.
The nonprofit organization Hands for Hunger is kicking off a new initiative to support school students. Crystal Darling has more.
School administrators and guidance counselors joined the organization Hands for Hunger and their partners at a ceremony Friday announcing a joint initiative with the Ministry of Education, public school pantries. Monthly donations of various snack items will be given to schools for students to have access to food when they are unable to function in their classes due to hunger. Currently, there are 12 primary, junior, and senior schools in the program. Hands for Hunger Outreach Manager Precious Fortune Thompson says that they are seeking to expand their efforts for the benefit of each public school in the country.
We do see that there are schools that are reaching out to us, and so these are schools that we are looking to onboard. And so We have schools, like I said, that are currently in the pipeline to be onboarded. And as we onboard those ones, we will then reach out to further schools to get them on board. So like I said, our goal is to make sure that the model is perfect enough that this can be operated on every school campus across the Bahamas.
Hands for Hunger Executive Director Keisha Ellis says they are working to establish ongoing relationships between the community and schools to make the program sustainable.
So we're working with the schools and communities to figure out how these pantries can be self-sustaining. How is it that any school can pick up and operate the same model without having to call Hands for Hunger, by being able to do it and tweak it perfectly for the environment that they're in.
Minister of State for Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, says that he is thankful for the efforts made by Hands for Hunger and explains the level of impact food programs have on the public school system.
Every dollar invested in school feeding programs pays off 4 times in the form of economic advantages for our country, according to World Food Programs. Organizations such as Hands for Hunger and their school pantry initiative and other feeding programs will help to empower our students and give them proper nutrition to go on to their everyday lives and to be more responsible students, eventually helping them to aspire to a brighter future. The overall plan for school feeding schemes is to help grow young minds.
So that was a powerful story there by Leonard Ramsey.
Learned so much today from Leonard Ramsey, Myron Roll. We had a very educational show. And also the car that Corporal Kemp mentioned,
it's a Fuga.
AJ 230. It was involved in a hit and run last night. If you know anybody on West Bay Street, make sure you call it. I really like to see that. So it's a very, I see you coming to tears just now, speaking with Ramsey. You know, sometimes you can't let that emotion show, but you just couldn't stop with that. So it's going to be a different day tomorrow. Tomorrow's what's on your plate? What are we cooking up tomorrow?
See, Mr. Ramsey said we have to watch our diet, so we don't know what we're going to eat tomorrow. If you have any suggestions, we have to eat organically. Good.
Okay, let's think of something. Or you can go on our Facebook page and say, hey, Fisher and Ladon, eat this something organic tomorrow. We'll take your suggestions and we'll come out here. And I'm going to start getting healthy, like you say, exercise. And
and eat right and get that stomach down so that you and Desmond don't have to do that challenge that we're thinking about.
I mean, Ladon is on her game this morning.
And be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas Tonight at 7.
I can't breathe. Trying to hold in my stomach as Ladon talking about to me.
Have a great morning, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.